Good afternoon, this is Sheila from mycardstockcreations.com, and this is going to be part 2 of my little umbrellas I made. This is the shaker one, and then I used the leftover pieces to make this umbrella. In my first video, I really didn't tell you the size. So, let's see. It's almost 7 inches wide. And say about almost 3 inches tall. And then, of course, you use the straws. And you can cut it any length that you want. And later on I'll tell you the couple of interesting things I used as shaker elements that I found at the dollar store. And this one measures about 6.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Alright, so in the first video, I showed you how I made the pieces using my Cricut. And like I said, you're going to need 8 of these cutout pieces, 6 of a solid color, and then 2 of a printed color if you choose to. And you're going to need 2 pieces of the clear plastic to make the shaker. And then I used, I think on the smaller umbrella, I used 1 of the decorative pieces and then 3 or 4 of the cutout pink ones. But first we're gonna do the main shaker one. Alright, so what I do, I use, you can use any glue that dries clear. For these projects I like to use this art glitter glue, and someone gifted this to me and I really like it, so I want to buy more. And it comes, I don't know if it comes with this silver tip or she just added that separately. I'm not sure, but I really like it because it's kind of a fine tip. And I always keep this little pin. Actually, I think this pin came with the adapter, just so that my tip doesn't get clogged. But all you do, we're gonna glue 6 pieces, 6 of these together, and don't go crazy on the glue. Just put a little. Make sure you have like a baby wipe or something handy, just so that you can wipe excess glue off, especially when you put the plastic piece on. Alright, and now you take one of the other pieces and you try to line it up the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I try to get mine as close as possible. Now I have to, the reason why I came up with this umbrella idea is because I am in a swap for Friendship. It's called a Friendship umbrella. If you look up on YouTube, just type in Friendship umbrella and there's several different videos out there, and I'll show you what they look like in a moment. But I'm doing a swap in one of the Facebook groups I belong to. And it was my very first one that I created, It's not my own design. Like I said, I watched a video online. So it's 3 pieces glued together. This is what mine looks like so far. You take 2 pieces of cardstock, cardboard, cardstock, 8.5 by 12 inches, and on mine I did every 1/4 of an inch. I scored it every 1/4 of an inch, and on the 8.5 inch side, because the 12 inch side you put up against your scoreboard and you score all the score lines, and then you glue the bottom and the sides together. And then I added this little wooden piece to the bottom so that it can stand up. So anyway, that's what I'm working on for a swap, and I added lace and some flowers and some ribbon. So I wanted something a little bit different, you know, original, and that's where I said, well, I'm gonna come up with an umbrella shaker, and that's what I did this morning. Now those of you who have Cricuts, there's plenty of files out there to buy, purchase from so many different sites. I have to tell you, I hardly purchase any of those myself because at the moment I'm not working. So what I do is I go online and I find things that I can change into an SVG file to use with Cricut, or I use the program, the Design Space program, and I design my own using that. But mostly I find an image online and I can tweak it to use for any project I come up with. Because you know, most SVG files aren't too expensive, but when you're not working, any little money that you spend adds up. And I have a wonderful husband who usually allows me to get supplies and things when I need them. He's usually very good at that, but right now we're in the middle of remodeling, so money's kind of tight. So I try to keep my expenses down when it comes to craft supplies. Alright, so glued 5, and you can, it depends on how thick you want your windows to be. I just did 6. If you have bigger pieces that you want to add to your shaker, like some kind of beads or anything, then I would suggest you to cut more of these pieces and glue them together, because otherwise they're not going to move freely once you put the window section on. Okay. Alright, so that's my 6 pieces. Alright, so for the video, I'm not going to wait for this to dry, but I would suggest to let all this dry, especially before you put in your sequins and beads and stuff, because you don't want them to get stuck to the sides, because then your shaker won't work right. So now, before you add the decorative piece, you're gonna put your plastic piece down. So very carefully, go along the inside edge very lightly with some glue. You don't want it too thick. And here's a good way to make sure you have a wipe a baby wipe or some kind of wipe handy, so when you put the clear piece on, if anything spills over, you could just wipe it off before it dries. Oop, if I'm out of the frame, sorry. I sometimes forget. So, and just lie it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure that your plastic covers the opening on all sides, because you don't want your beads or anything to fall out. Just gonna lift it up. I could have went a little bit high on there. And like I said, make sure before you add your beads and things, make sure it's thoroughly dry. So now I'm going to put my front piece on, which is the decorative. And again, be careful with the glue, because you don't want it to go all over your window there. I wouldn't really suggest to use hot glue, because hot glue is not as forgiving as regular glue. See, I got some glue oozing out. But just take a baby wipe. Just go along the edge. And then sometimes I'll take a dry napkin, paper towel, and dry that off, because you don't want any streaks if you can help it. And it's still kind of oozing there, but alright. So while this is dry, while you could put this aside, let that dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to put my pin back in the top of this. While that one is drying, you can take your extra pieces that from the cutout, and I think I'm going to use four of the plain, and you just need one, or you could use two, but I only used one on mine. I didn't do the back, but you can do the back if you like. Alright, so I'm going to glue 4 of these together, and I'm just going to use regular tacky glue for this. I got this double window idea watching a video the other day about this woman. She was making paper clip shakers, tiny ones, and she used the double window, well, on both sides. I'm like, oh my god, that is such a cool idea. So that's where I got this idea to make this kind of umbrella. I was really tempted to do this video outside on my deck, but the neighbor decided to mow his lawn, so I'm in the house. I don't need a someone mowing, excuse me, in the background. The only background noise you would have heard probably were the birds, because my house is surrounded by trees and we have hundreds of birds around. And that would have been a more pleasant sound than someone mowing their lawn. I hope you all had a beautiful Easter. My niece came down from Massachusetts. I haven't seen my family members for almost 2 years since I moved down here to North Carolina. Now I'm just adding the front piece. You know what? I goofed. I goofed. So I'm gonna do this now. Good thing I have extra pieces. Before I glued in the straw, and I forgot all about it. Oops. What I did was flatten out some of the straw. And this one I'm going to leave the top part not so flat. And I glue it in the center. And I forgot to do that before I put the other layers on. So good thing I have extra. So now with this piece I'm going to add some more glue on the straw. And these straws you can get anywhere. Michael's, the dollar store sometimes has them if you're lucky to find them. Michael's, Joann's, all them craft stores. So now put the straw in, and you just gotta go like around the straw. That's not coming out as good as I hoped. Sorry. So I made a mistake. So what I would do is put 2 pieces together and then glue in your straw, and then put 2 more pieces on top of that before you add your decorative piece. That's what I would do. And I forgot that step. I'm so sorry, because I'm just gabbing away on other things. But like I was talking about Easter, my family came down and we have a nice Easter together. We were able to eat outside because it was such a beautiful day. So yeah, that went on a little bit better than the first one. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so you can leave your bottom piece flat, or I just folded mine over, made a little hook. You don't have to do that. I don't think I'm going to do it on this one. Alright, so I'm going to leave this one to dry. Put that aside. This should be dried enough. Now, let's see, where did I put that stuff? Here. So I'm going to show you what I found at the Dollar Tree to use as some sequins, or use instead of sequins. I have 3 different ones. Yes. Oh, I think I'm going to use this stuff too this time. So these little bead things are actually for your nails. And I actually found some cute ones. This one's like different kind of shapes. This one's like some fruit pieces. And then this one is flowers and some stars. So these actually I got at the Dollar Tree. And I found them where you would find the fingernail things, you know, like the polish and stuff. And that's what I used to decorate my shaker. See, some of my stuff is getting stuck over there in the corner. Alright. So, where is my... I guess I'll just use this. So, you can put whatever you want in yours. So, I'm just going to start adding some stuff. Alright, I'm back. I think my camera shut off, so I'm hoping that you saw until this part I was adding some things into my umbrella. And as I was saying, I bought these at the Dollar Tree, and these are actually for your nails. So I used some flowers and some little beads, and then I used some of these little sequin things. And I think I'm going to just throw in a couple little sea beads this time, just to give it a little more. Alright, so I think that's enough. You don't want it too much. So now that you added the stuff you wanted, it's time to put the other plastic piece on. So I'm going to take my fine tip again, and be very careful not to put too much glue, and you're going to go right on the edge of the inside of the umbrella very carefully. I'm hoping I'm in frame, sorry. Okay, so now lie down. Oops. There. And I'm trying my best not to push it down too much, because I don't want the glue to seep out. You try to be sparingly with your glue. And now I'm just going to put in my other decorative piece. Okay. Oops. Alright. Try to line it up the best you can. I think I'm a little bit off over here. Well, sometimes it doesn't line up perfectly, but try your best. Alright, so now that's your the other side. So I would let that dry a little bit. Before you continue. But for the purpose of this video, oops, I got some glue stuck here. Darn it. Oops, sorry about the squeakiness. Okay. Alright, you can clean it up. Okay, so now you get one of your straws, and I'm gonna squish down almost like a ½ inch. And I'm gonna take a craft blade, and very carefully in the middle down here, I'm gonna create an opening, like in between the layers. And then I'm going to add some glue on both sides. And I'm going to insert that inside to where you're just about seeing the tip. I don't know if you can see that. and the inside there. Make it even. And then because you don't want any of your contents spilling out, take your glue and just go along, like right where you inserted it. Oops. Try to fill up the hole there. Alright, so now before you decorate, just let that dry all the way, and then it's ready for decorating, and you can decorate it all different kind of ways. I think my thing's already, there we go. Alright, and you can decorate. I added some ribbon, I added a flower up top, and then this beaded flower with sequins sewn into it. I didn't do anything on the back but there's my shaker, and then the other umbrella. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and any comments or questions you can leave down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.